G'day everyone. Hope you're being well in this difficult time, and I just wanted to start the video by just giving a bit of a shout out to everyone and hoping that everyone's staying safe and looking after themselves and keeping healthy in this really challenging time. So we're all thinking of you at JBS and wanting to make sure that everyone's staying safe and looking after each other because that's the number one priority. Attached is your quarterly report. So as you can see, there's been a pretty big pullback in markets, but as a overall side of things, we're pretty pleased with how things are going, because if you recall, our objective is to get most of the upside in good markets, but protect on the downside. And clearly, since the recent high on the 20th of February, we've seen some pretty big pullbacks. However, our portfolios, we're really pleased with how they've been holding up comparatively in that regard. The challenge moving forward, I guess, is for markets to quantify how long this is going to go on for. And I guess we've seen a little bit of a run recently in the last sort of 3 or 4 weeks where markets are sort of starting to say that, well, we are going to come through this. There has been a lot of stimulus. Policymakers have gone big. And at the moment, they're factoring in more of a V recovery rather than a U recovery. And I think internally, we're probably being a little bit more conservative that and expecting it to be a bit more of a U recovery. There is no doubt we will come through this. We'll get through it and those sorts of things. And there's no doubt the policymakers and the governments have been acting relatively quickly with those sort of policymakers. But I think once the real numbers of economic data stuff comes through, like unemployment, particularly here in Australia and obviously in the US, they're the unknown factors, and we're probably predicting a bit more of a U recovery rather than the V, which the market's factoring in now. Having said that, even at the current levels, taking a 3-year view, we still think that the market is showing some really good value, and it's going to be interesting to see how things play out. But I've no doubt that in a 3 to 5 year view, we'll be looking back and saying that, that was cheap, and if we average in the market, we should be able to take advantage of the current prices and those sorts of things. Moving forward, I think there is going to be a few challenges. Clearly, there's been a little bit of talk that APRA's putting some pressure on companies like the banks to potentially pause dividends for a short time or even reduce them to some degree. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Remember, though, when these sorts of headlines do come out, it is going to be done in the best interest of shareholders. So if they do hold the dividends back, the expectation is that will strengthen the balance sheets and ensure that the banks will be around for the longer term, which is clearly what we all want to do. Another interesting point just to think about comparing this crisis to the GFC is this is a health crisis, whereas the GFC was more of a financial crisis. Clearly, the health crisis is causing financial issues, but policymakers haven't been relaxed in their reactions, I guess, to making policy, because in the GFC there was the political and ethical issues associated with bailing out things like the institutions that potentially caused some of the issues, whereas here they've been able to act fast, quickly, and have been able to put plans in place to allow us to survive through this time. So that's just another little really important thing to remember, is that we will get through this. There's absolutely no doubt about this. Think about the strategies that we've put in place for you to allow you to get through this, so levels of cash to fund pensions or the like, and there is sufficient buffer there to let you get through this particular period in time. As I said, really it is an opportunity to start buying into the market and averaging in and picking up some of these quality companies that will be here in the future and provide with an opportunity to invest. So if that is of interest to you at all, feel free to get on the phone and let's have a chat. So good luck with everything. As I said, the most important thing is that everyone's safe and that we're looking after each other. So if there's anything that we can do at JBS to help you, please feel free to yell out. We are here. We're all in this together and we want to get through it. So all the best. Speak soon. Cheers.